Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and Apple announced WWDC 2025 on March 25th, but now they have additional details for the keynote and schedule in a couple weeks here. So to start, Apple actually sent out press or media invites for WWDC. You can see them on X, you'll see them on Threads and other places, where some were invited to watch online, some were invited to attend in person, and those are available now. And it says WWDC25 on the horizon, June 9th through the 13th. So we have the exact dates. We knew that before. However, there's additional details. Apple updated their website with new times. So if we go back here and if we scroll down on their main site, you can see it says WWDC 25 now. Join us online June 9th through the 13th. If we go to the website here, you can view more in the developer app as well. But if we scroll down, now we have the keynote event time. This is what we expected all along, but it will be on Monday, June 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time or 1 p.m. Eastern time. So you can add it to the calendar. And if you're on this website from anywhere around the world, it should adjust the times for you. Then you'll see we have the platform State of the Union address. This is more for developers, what's going on with the back end of the update. And this is on June 9th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, typically after the keynote. And then there's 100 new videos and sessions and things like that, along with group labs that were announced as well. So one-on-one labs, meet the community, and much more. So you can see all of that information here, and then you can see the full schedule in the Dev app as well. So you'll see on the horizon, if we go into it, we've got all of the different group labs. You can register if you're a developer, and then see all of the different sessions to learn the latest about what you're going to see with iOS 19, visionOS 3, watchOS 12, and on and on. Now, of course, the first thing to expect is iOS 19. And with iOS 19, we'll expect the first beta to release after the keynote. So if it takes place at 1 p.m. Eastern time, usually that's a couple hours long, and we'll have the beta by 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern time typically. That's the first beta. It will typically be unstable, but you'll be able to try it on your device if you'd like and see all of the new features and changes. And we got a preview of some of those changes, at least, on Apple's website a week or so ago. So if we scroll over here, you'll see it here where Apple unveiled powerful accessibility features coming later this year. I did a full video on this, but they have things such as nutrition labels on the App Store, magnifier for Mac, Braille access updates, accessibility reader, and other things such as live listen, visionOS updates, and personal voice updates, and more. So lots of things here. I'll link that video in the description if you haven't seen it yet, but those are the things we know 100% that will be in iOS 19. But the biggest thing this year is iOS 19 is supposedly going to be the biggest redesign since iOS 7. This is according to Mark Gurman, and this was supposed to happen last year, but Apple was caught up with Apple Intelligence. Now we should get something that's a little bit closer to visionOS in design, and it will be a different way of using the iPhone than we're used to, according to Mark Gurman. Maybe we'll see a full change from the control center to interactions with everything from music, hovering bars here, different looks, maybe round icons. We've heard a lot of different things, but we don't have a 100% idea of what it's going to look like just yet. However, some have said that the new Sports app has some sort of hints of what it looks like. So if we go to the Sports app here, this is Apple's Sports app. The app itself doesn't look like it, but if you tap on menus in the upper right, for example, you'll see this is different than anything we have in iOS currently. So we could have our settings here with different things like that. I would love to see the settings brought right into the app instead of having to go to a separate settings app. So we could see all of those things. However, some other things we're expecting with iOS 19 are RCS end-to-end encryption. So that's something we don't currently have. We do have RCS messaging on certain carriers, but we could see end-to-end encryption enabled for that. We could also see some updates to Translate. So if you use the Translate app, that's something that I know some people use. You may be able to use live Translate in real time with AirPods this time around. So that's something that we could see. We're not 100% sure, of course, of any of these features until they're announced. But if you use Apple's Translate app, we may be able to use it in real time using AirPods. So that would be great. We're also expecting some updates for health features with AI assistance. So Apple's sort of faltered a bit with AI and Apple Intelligence, but with the health app, we could get an AI assistant that helps us along with this, maybe managing losing weight or managing exercising or anything else, or giving us daily trends and different information about that. Of course, we are expecting some Apple Intelligence updates, but a less focus on Siri this year than last year. So instead of having the update where we already have it here, I would not expect this update to come to prior devices that aren't supported. That's something that Apple has been very clear about due to RAM in the overall device, but we could see an update with Siri, maybe some changes there and additional updates, but we won't hear about those features until a little bit later. Also, we won't hear about as many features announced initially until they're ready. This time around, I think Apple's learned their lesson where they announced over 300 or 400 different changes and features, and then also Apple Intelligence updates, and it was just too much to accomplish in a few months. So instead, they'll be more focused, hopefully on stability, according to Mark Gurman. And I know many of you have said, well, I've talked about stability in the past. And while that's true, Apple themselves has never focused on it. We've just hoped for it. Now Mark Gurman says that they're taking that seriously. They're sick of the bugs and trying to make it stable like iOS once was known for. Now we could see things such as split view. We have that on iPad, but we're not really holding our breath for that. And we could see something along the line of battery intelligence, maybe giving overall suggestions on how to manage your battery health better, but also learning your patterns overall, seeing what it's like, and then giving you suggestions and allowing you to charge. So when you plug in, maybe it will say, this is when you're done charging, maybe give us more information about that and help us manage it better overall. Also, something leaked today from Mark Gurman was that developers will be able to use Apple's own AI models in their apps. Now, currently they can use apps such as maybe Image Playground or Genmoji from within their app, just giving the link to these apps, but they'll be able to use the AI models directly to help with their own content. So this is something they could open up with that. We also expect an update with a bidirectional keyboard for moving between Arabic and English, along with Arabic calligraphy. So maybe we'll have a new pen on our iPad. We'll be able to use Arabic calligraphy with the pen and maybe even use it on the iPhone as well with our finger. But either way, we should have that as well. When it comes to macOS 15, that's a little bit less clear as far as what to expect there, but we do expect some updates, maybe consistency across iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, and macOS and visionOS, all expected to look similar. We also expect some updates with watchOS, but nothing major this year as we had that before, but we could again see some consistency updates and smoothness and refinement across devices. The same is true with tvOS and HomePodOS. I think we'll see more consistency, but not a whole lot of features just yet. And then additionally, of course, we could see some products this year. We don't know what to expect there as we already had the Mac Studio M3 Ultra. We don't have the Mac Pro M3 Ultra yet, so maybe we could see that along with Studio Display and Pro Display XDR updates. Of course, we could get a surprise device as well. And one thing I almost forgot to mention is the supported devices for iOS 19. iOS 19 is said to drop a few devices such as the iPhone XS, XS Max, and XR. So those devices may lose support entirely based on RAM and chipset, and some iPads as well. So we don't know that for sure until Apple announces it, but that's what the rumors say, at least at this point. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, we'll have iOS 19 Beta 1 typically on June 9th after WWDC's first keynote, and then we'll have betas throughout the summer with a public release maybe on September 8th or September 15th. We don't have a definite date yet, but of course we won't know that until we get closer to the final launch date. But that's what we can expect as far as WWDC, as far as products, changes, and updates. So that's it for the whole schedule of WWDC. It kicks off June 9th. They announced it today, and I'll link this in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. So all of the different things, labs, and more will be available here and then in the Dev app as well. Let me know what you're looking most forward to in iOS 19. Hopefully we actually see stability this year and it's not just something that's rumored. And then hopefully we see some major changes and updates as well. Again, let me know what you're looking most forward to. And of course, I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.